what can fans expect, from your character's journey in season 3 of Terror Lake Drive?
Your grandfather has named you the sole heir to his estate. Property is located in luxurious Lake Levy.
I've heard some pretty strange things happen up there. Like what?
Something doesn't feel right. Why do you think there aren't any other Black guests?
I think the fans can expect to take a ride. This is my first role in a suspenseful thriller situation, and it's exciting. It is exhilarating. You see a woman with her children who eventually has to fight for her life, make sure her children are safe. And a mother will do anything for her kids. And that is something I think I always knew growing up because my mom always found a way to make a way. But when I had my own son, I was like, oh, bet. I will do anything. I will do anything. And so you see a woman who is buried in debt, trying to figure out a way, and then the safety of her children comes into play, and then you see her turn into something else. And so it's a wonderful, exhilarating ride.
So, obviously, Terror Lake Drive is known for its suspenseful storytelling. Mm-hmm. So can you tease any exciting or unexpected twists viewers can anticipate in the upcoming episodes?
Ooh, I think that the viewers can anticipate the unusual. Things they start feeling a little murky and you don't know where it's coming from. And so when you find out where it does come from, it's unexpected. You can find, honestly, just a mama bear becoming a mama bear and figuring out a way out of what feels like no way. So it's very suspenseful. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. And it's, you don't know where it's coming from. And so I think that's the fun part.
So you play Janice Duvernay this season. And speaking of being the protective mama bear, how did you kind of share, how you personally prepared to step into the mindset and the emotions of your character, especially dealing with, these intense and suspenseful scenes?
It was honestly very exciting. I think preparation for me was understanding the world of Terror Lake Drive. And then when it came to this particular season, once I got to read all of the scripts, I was like, oh, okay, this is a whole journey. And so for me, I've just always loved thriller and suspenseful things growing up. And so it was very exciting to see how we were going to shoot certain scenes. And just the physicality of it was very exciting and arduous on the body. And so I prepared by physically just being ready, being in shape, making sure my diet was what it needed to be to sustain me through these long days. We had a lot of long shoots, a lot of long night shoots. And so trying to make sure I got my rest while still trying to take care of my child. It was a lot, but I think the love of a mother really came into play through getting through shooting, and then also being in the moment really came into play as far as making things real and honest. I've always wanted my work to come across honest, and so being a mom helped me get into that. Meeting the people who played my children, loved them. They are absolutely wonderful. Jaylon and Kennedy Chanel, they are absolutely wonderful, and they helped me get into the mindset I needed to be in to take us on this ride.
So can you share any personal favorite moments or scenes from this season that were particularly thrilling or challenging to film?
There are some water scenes that were very hard to film, mainly because it was very, very cold.
I'm in the water, bro. The water feels so good.
No, thank you.
I almost forgot black people were afraid of water.
Hey, watch your mouth, Jack Harlow.
It was very cold, and we had to submerge ourselves in water in the chill of the night with very, very cold water. So they had someone on set, of course, for safety reasons, making sure that however long we were in that cold water, we had to get into a hot tub. We had to make sure our body temperature came back to what it was supposed to be. So that was a really, really, really long night, and very difficult. But I think when you work with people that love what they do, as hard as it was getting in that water, we would hug each other, hold each other while we're in the water, waiting for the camera to be set. We would just make sure we were keeping each other, the spirit of everything light, and making sure we were all there for each other. Like, are you too cold? Are you good? Are you okay? Do we need to stop? Do you need to get out? Even, just as our castmates, just caring for each other, even if maybe, I know the safety person was paying attention, but we paid attention to each other, making sure we were taking care of each other in those harder, longer, colder moments. Quite cold. We were freezing, but it was fun. It was fun to just sit into a character that is very much so unlike me in a lot of ways, and just find her and dig in. It was a really good time.
So let me ask you, do you have a favorite episode this season? I mean, you said moments ago you got a chance to read all the scripts for the season. So in terms of, an episode fully highlighting your skills or putting your talent on display or heightened emotions, I should say, is there one standout episode that you most enjoyed filming that you're looking forward to viewers experiencing as well?
I don't think that there was just one. There were pieces in each that I got to see my character grow and flourish in a way and do things that I myself have never done. And so that's sort of, there's a piece of that in each. But I think maybe episode 6 is really like, it's really something. But then 7 is something. And then 5 is, I don't know. I don't have a favorite. There's something in each, but if I had to make a choice, I would probably say 6. I don't know. Right now, it's 6.
So let me ask you this then. From the moment we, the viewers, meet your character Janice in the first episode to where she and the kids end up in the final episode, will we be surprised by her journey? Will the final episode leaving us like clutching our pearls? I know you can't, I'm not asking you to spoil anything, but lure us in, Miss Deborah. Give us just a little bit of a teaser about the overall finale episode, if you can.
I think that the journey we take you on through the course of the 7 episodes, by the time we get to the end, you will be like, okay, so this roller coaster was amazing, and it looks like there could maybe be more. Is there? We don't know. But it's a roller coaster. It's like the Tower of Terror. You do that first drop and you think, okay, we made it. But then you keep going higher and there's another drop, and then you go higher and there's another drop. That's what this is. So when we get to that last drop in episode 7, you're like, is there another? What are we doing? We don't know. We're not sure. So you're going to clutch. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be like, yes. Ooh. It's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot. You know how we do as a people. We make a lot of sounds. We do, hey, wait. It's going to be a lot of that.
And you forgot, don't go in that room. Don't open that door.
No. Don't do that. Yes, it's going to be a lot of that.
Exactly. Now, like you said moments ago when we first started, this is your first season with the show. And the series has it's in terms of the fan base, the fan base for Terror Lake Drive has grown significantly over the past 2 seasons. And I'm wondering, how do you think the show resonates with audiences? I mean, before you accepted this role, what was your background with the series? Were you a fan of the show? Were you aware of the fandom around the show? And tie into your answer, what do you hope viewers take away from this new season?
So yes, I was a fan of the show. When I first got the call about it initially. So I worked with this director, Jerry Lamont, the director, the creator, the writer. Terror Lake Drive belongs to him. And so when I first worked with him was when I did A Christmas Movie for Own. He was the director. And I had such a great time. You know, when you work with people and you just have a great connection, we had that. But I know Hollywood. And so when he said, I really want to work with you again, we're going to find something, I just thought, oh, okay, sure, whatever. Because people say that in Hollywood. And when he reached out for the second season of Terror Lake Drive, but I just had my baby. And so I couldn't do anything. I had like fresh, like maybe a month prior. And so, but I just was shocked that he reached out. And so then I watched both seasons and I said, oh my God, I like where he's coming from. This is good. This is interesting.
Beware Freeman Lakes.
This land is sinister.
We are getting out of here today.
That actually won't be an option.
Black women disappear here. That's not a myth.
The truth is hidden with your ancestors.
And then I saw an audience that really resonated with what this was. And I said, this is really, really cool. And so when he reached out again for season 3, I was like, yo, we have to make this work. I told my team, look, guys, how do we carve out time to make this work? Because I really want to work with this director. I want to go where I'm wanted, where I am appreciated. And this director has shown that not only does he appreciate my work, he likes working with me. And at the end of the day, when you're spending so much time on a set with people, you want to work with people that love what they do and that want to work with you. And so that was seeing the fan base around this, understanding the stories that he's trying to tell, and seeing the first 2 seasons, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I'm honored that you've continued to think of me. So yes, let's make this happen. And as far as the character and just the season as a whole for season 3, I think I want people to be able to walk away with trusting themselves, trusting that gut instinct, because I believe God gave it to us for a reason. So when something doesn't feel quite right, stick with it, understand it, figure it out. Don't just decide, oh no, I'm doing too much, or I don't, no. You have that gut instinct for a reason. I want people to walk away with understanding they need to listen to it, walk away with the courage to be bold in whatever situation you find yourself in, walk away with an understanding that you get to protect what is yours. It is yours. We have an inheritance. We have an inheritance as a people. We have an inheritance as a culture. It is ours, and we get to claim it. We get to hold on to it, and we get to walk and run with it. And don't let anybody tell you anything different. We come from kings, queens. We come from royalty. And I hope people are able to walk away and step into that understanding of who they are.
Very good. And you know what? I feel like your answer is a great segue into my final question. Mm-hmm. And I almost feel like you probably answered it, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. Beyond the suspenseful plot in this series, right? Are there any messages or themes that the show aims to convey this season? Did you and the director sit down as you were kind of unpacking your character and talk about the heartbeat of this show, right? So I guess, so that's my question. Are there any messages or themes that this show aims to convey this season, and how does your character fit into those themes?
Absolutely. The director and creator, Jerry, is very specific. He is very calculated. So under the surface, there is your spirituality. There is trusting that instinct that you have. There is a reclaiming of what is ours. I think it's very hard to live in the world that we live in and see the things that we see as a people and not put it into our art. You know, art should imitate life. It does. And he has done so in such a beautiful and cinematic way. He has allowed us to see what we are going through in the world on display, and also try to find solutions within that world. And the basis, the foundation of all of it is very, very spiritual. It will allow you to not just do what you know to do, which is to pray, but it also shows you that God is in everything. God is in the water. God is in the air that you're breathing. God is in everything. And that reminds me of the moment in The Count of Monte Carlo, where she finally figures out he is the Count. That's the man that she's been in love with all her life, but then he was taken away. And she's like, "You are him." And he said, I can't lose my revenge now because, you know, they did this and they did that. And she said, God is not in that. God is in this. God is in everything. He's in the things you touch, the air you breathe. He's in a kiss. He is in everything. So let go of what is not serving you and hold on to what is. Find God in the things that you're doing and what's all around you. And so I think that he is very specific with that. And I think that my character learns that she has the power, that God, that she is enough, that God has given her everything she needs. And if she taps into all those resources around her, she'll find where God is leading her.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.